So can we be honest about life after losing weight? If this is for you, you'll know immediately. And if it's not, you can keep scrolling. But for those of us that spent a little bit of time or a long time losing over 100 pounds or any type of massive weight, you might want to pull up a seat and stay. And we're going to have this conversation while I take out my hair because it was time. So in December 2021, I decided to get VSG surgery for many reasons. As obviously health. Obviously, I was overweight. I was almost 300 pounds. But also there was so much life that I wasn't living. I wasn't able to give my daughter a bath because my stomach was so just in the way that hunching over or doing anything that required me to bend for a long period of time would cause my sciatica to mess up in such a way where I would literally be paralyzed in place. True story. I had to wear knee braces on both of my knees. There are just a lot of things. And at 20 something years old, it wasn't okay for me. It wasn't okay that I was married to this fine man and I'm out here looking like I don't care about myself. My kids are gorgeous. My kids are healthy. My husband is fine. And I was cute. I was large. I was not ugly. I was just large. And it wasn't doing it for me. So I decided that it was time to make a change. Made the change. Boom. Lost 125 pounds. Boom. Became a personal trainer. Boom. I got to work at a gym. And from a foodie, a girl who literally did not even want to go to the gym or think anything about the gym, that was a big deal. So losing weight has its perks, but the other side of it is how lonely you are. And I will say that after losing all of that weight and during the journey of losing that much weight, it wasn't about the fat. It wasn't about the pounds. It wasn't about the physical shedding that was happening. It was about that awareness that was happening while I'm looking around and I'm making the changes. Nobody else around me was changing. Nobody else around me was doing the work. And I'm not talking about weight loss. I'm just talking about the mental work. I'm talking about healing childhood traumas. I'm talking about actually becoming the person that you were supposed to be, that you're supposed to be, that the whole reason why we're here. I realized into my journey that not everybody had that same mission. Not everybody was, growth oriented. And it got lonely because I started to outgrow people. I started to outgrow situations. I started to outgrow pendulums and concepts like working. I outgrew the desire to really want friends and keep friends because I assessed all of my friendships throughout my life and I realized that I was always the giver. I was always the one showing up for friends, showing up for their kids' parties, showing up for them with my hobbies, offering my gifts and talents for free or for a super heavy discount. Like I was always that girl. I was always a girl's girl. And I realized that my boundary of peace was more important than making myself available for friends. It was more important than making myself available for family. I got tired of being the doormat of my chapter of life. It was because I'd given all of me to everybody for my entire life. There were many moments where I was somebody's person and I never had a person. There were times when even when I had my person, my husband, we had rifts and things going on in our friendship because we've known each other since we were 14. We also had rifts in our relationship. It was really hard to navigate this new life that I was creating with old people, with old residues of a life that I was outgrowing. And it got lonely, it got depressing. And as I was losing the physical weight, the mass was going down, the scale was looking amazing, I still felt lonely. I still felt like I was in this by myself. And although support is great, although people hyping you up and doing all of the things and whoop-de-whoop, that's great. Love that. That still doesn't help the fact that I'm having to look at the world in a completely different light. And now that I'm aware, I don't like what I see. Because if I could do it, and I'm talking about this girl who would literally down a medium-sized extra black olive Marco's pizza with Roma and Parmesan on the crust with the garlic sauce. Yes, I know my order because I work there too. Don't judge me. That mentality was also something that made me feel lonely because people didn't understand my real serious relationship with food. So it even felt weird being around people after being the girl that would eat, after being the girl that would bust down a meal, now being the girl that really didn't eat like that. I'm struggling to even feel like I belong anymore because the interests that I have are different. My food style is different. Like, I'm not interested in doing certain things or entertaining certain narratives anymore, centered or surrounding neighboring food. I became just this different person, and nobody else around me did. And it became extremely lonely. It became disheartening. It just became like insufferable at times to just be happy that I actually said yes to me, but nobody else around me said yes to them. And I recently found myself in a very deep and very, recluse depression. I tried to work through it and I got a job, worked that job for 90 days to the day. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore because I was jeopardizing my peace. I was jeopardizing everything that I had worked so hard to release, all of the things that I worked so hard to become this person. And every day that I went into that job, I was jeopardizing my peace. I was compromising my integrity. I was compromising my morals and my values. And the pact that I made with myself about going back to a job after being a stay-at-home mom for so long. And I had to leave, and I couldn't do it anymore. Like, that job made me really stop choosing things that did not align with me and stop making excuses for why I needed to choose those things, because that was also linked to a former side of me that was people pleasing. You just become lonely. You just start to feel weird, and it almost seems like and feels like I healed too hard. I understood the assignment too much, because now I can't relate. Now I'm not relatable to people anymore. That challenges my content because I'm a content creator, and I can't produce content from a place that I don't resonate with, that I'm not living every day. So the place that I'm living is not relatable to my audience right now. And not saying that y'all haven't changed, but some people haven't. And some people are still waiting on me to do something quirky or how I used to do it. And I'm not that girl no more. I'm not going to give you old Britney ever, because me and her don't even share the same DNA. We don't share the same understandings, and expecting somebody to continue to be who they used to be after they've made a physical, massive shift and change, it's insanity. All of that to say, losing weight is amazing until you have to look in the mirror every single day and realize that there are people, places, and things that can't come with you. Will you still keep going? And that's where I'm leaving this. I love y'all.